What is going on, y'all? Connor from Rock Pokemon. We've got another Market Monday for you. So in today's Market Monday, I'm super stoked. Got another CGC return, just a small 7-card return, but pretty cool. Little story behind each card or each group of cards. These went to my middleman, Kanto Shark, Jared. Shout out Kanto Shark, in February of last year. So I would say probably 11 months. I think I sent these to him at like the end of February, and so they probably went to CGC in March. Right now we're sitting on the 9th of January, so maybe somewhere in that 10 to 11 month range. But at any rate, I'm stoked to have these back. I have more coming. I'm really stoked to kind of do these more like miniature returns with y'all. So without further ado, we're going to run through everything. So the first 3 cards are Japanese Team Rocket. I picked these up in a local, like a flea market store down the road from me, mid-pandemic, sometime last January. Was just super stoked to find some pretty high quality vintage out in the wild. Then I have 2 more Japanese vintage cards I got from, that'll be these 2. 2 more Japanese vintage cards that I purchased off eBay sometime last, maybe December or January. And then below that, I have a Vending series card that I peeled myself and a Dream League card that I pulled myself. So fun little story for each card. Let's rip through it. So let's start with the worst of the bunch, which is a Japanese Dark Doug Trio. So Rocky Gang Hollow. Absolutely beautiful card. I love the artwork on this card. Y'all can see the swirl there in the bottom left here. So take a look at the back. Trying to hide the grade from y'all before we show it. Honestly, looks quite good. I had this pre-graded at a 9 to 9.5, so I felt this was a very strong card. Keep in mind I was grading a lot of cards last year, had a lot going on, and sometimes you miss things. And this bad boy got an 8. So why'd that happen? So as you can see, centering, corners, and edges are very strong. Really beautiful card, but surface got a 7. Now we all know CGC's harsh on surface, but what really happened here? Well, if you look closely, it's very hard, but down here, there's a little indent on the surface, like a lip on the surface right there. See that right there, where my thumb is, down in the left-hand corner? So I think that I'm trying to see if I can catch it in the light really well, but that, I think, there you can see it. It's almost like a surface crease. It's very, very tiny. I think that because of the software that they use and the way they analyze the surface, that, just killed the grade for it. So all in all, it's an amazing card because it looks beautiful, and there's no reason to know why that surface has a 7 unless you look crazy close at that bottom left corner. It's actually really hard to even see. So that's the reasoning. I think there's probably some surface, let's see, maybe a little surface scuffing on the back or dimpling, which can always lead into it. Yep, maybe see it right there. Actually, there might be a little crease there. That might be what I missed. Now that I look at it, y'all see that? Let me look. To the naked eye, I actually cannot see that. And I don't have my extra light with me. Oh yeah. You know what? I think it's also that. I think there's a dent in the back. Okay, that makes me feel better. See that, y'all? Because this, I'm pretty sure I caught that. Maybe I missed it. I mean, this was a long time ago, but I was like, seriously? I think there's a dimple in the back. Y'all see that? There's a crease in the back. So that's what gave it the surface 7, which is a shame because the hollow is absolutely gorgeous. I love this artwork. It's Himeno, my favorite artist, and it has a swirl. So there you have it, y'all. So that's one I'll be letting go of. I'll either sell it or do a giveaway and look to upgrade to a 9 because I would like to have this whole set in a 9. So one of my favorite sleeper picks from the WotC era is this card. I really love the artwork. I just think it's funny. So that's the worst of the bunch. Got the 8. That's on me for missing a pretty obvious flaw in the card. So, but Looks gorgeous from the front. Beautiful swirl, beautiful hollow, great card. So next up, we have Japanese Dark Machamp. Now, Machamp is one of my favorite Pokemon from the original 151. You can see the beautiful swirl on here. I like him because of kind of the bodybuilding vibe from some of my past, and I love, training and fitness and nutrition. So another amazing card. When I picked this up, it was with the goal of getting towards a set in 9+ that I graded myself with Japanese Team Rocket, so something I've been working on in the background. And lo and behold, I had it as a 9. I thought maybe the surface would fall somewhere in the 8.5 range, but everything else would be 9 to 9.5. And actually, we hit a really nice grade on this card. I mean, getting a 9 surface on a vintage holo, doesn't matter if it's Japanese or English, is tough with CGC. So 9 on centering, 9 on surface, 9.5 on corners and edges. This is a gorgeous card. This one's a keeper for me. Very stoked to have this. Looks quite beautiful from the back as well. I think maybe there's like a scratch on the back, which is why I thought it could get 8.5. Sometimes it's hard to tell how they grade the back surface scratching. So, excuse me guys, I had a little bit of a cold this week if I sound congested or am talking too loud because my ears are a little plugged. But that swirl is absolutely gorgeous. Very stoked about that. Overall, I'm super proud. Maybe proud's the wrong word, but very stoked with this card. Classic Arita artwork. One I went and found in a shop myself. Threw it in the CGC pool and came out a winner. So very stoked to be keeping that one in my collection. Next up, same set, we have Japanese Dark Alakazam. Had this at a 9 as well, kind of in that soft 9 range. And if you take a look, this is a really cool one. The reason I picked this up is because it has a perfect swirl in the hollow pattern there. You can see it's like the only place you would want or could get a swirl on this hollow is right in that beam of light. Card is pretty strong, centering maybe it is a little low, a little off kilter. Back looks pretty good. I think there was some surface scratching on the back if I recall. So this was like a soft 9 for me, but a 9 nonetheless, and it ended up coming in at the 8.5. So what do we have here? Well, we had centering coming in at 8.5, which you can definitely see it's definitely low and shifted to the right. Let's check the back. You definitely see the same on the back. Surface got an 8.5. I have to look more closely at this one. The hollow looks quite good. Maybe there's a little scratch right there by his foot. Y'all can see why the bad lighting for videos is great for pre-grading. It's really helped me a lot. I think I had the surface at a 9. So, but that's typical. I mean, CGC, I expect to get, this was before I really understood how CGC graded surface. Corners at a 9.5, that makes sense, and edges at a 9. So, fairly strong 8.5, has the potential for PSA 9. But all in all, 8.5, pretty strong around the board. Ended up picking up one of these in a 9.5 from PWCC with a similar swirl, which is cool. So, probably will let this one go. Really neat though, again, to have these 3 cards that I picked up in the wild during the pandemic from just this random flea market that had all kinds of stuff. So we got an 8, an 8.5, and a 9, and I am most stoked about keeping this Machamp in my collection. Great card, one of my favorite Pokemon. So next we have 2 cards I picked up off eBay from a random seller together. We have a Japanese Surge's Magneton next. I think this is a great card. One of the cards from Leader Stadium that I really like, which is Gym Heroes 1 in Japanese. If you remember Gym Heroes 1, which is Gym 1, so Gym Heroes. Gym Challenge is my favorite set. from Japanese WotC era. But this is a great card. Again, picked it up, had a nice swirl on it. Felt really confident about this card. Had it pre-graded 9s across the board. And we got the 9, but we got an 8.5 on centering. Obviously, I should have seen that. I don't know why I wrote down 9. This is an obvious 8.5 on the centering. You can see how far it is shifted to the left. But surface with a 9 on a vintage holo. Really stoked about that. Very beautiful card, like I said, with that nice swirl. And the kind of like Pokeball in the back, but there's no print line. It's just like the big fat ball. This is a beautiful holo. Like, I really like this one. This one is a keeper for my collection. Corners and edges hitting that 9.5. Very, very strong. Very, very nice. Can't get that off there. There we go. Very nice 9. Very happy to have this in my collection. I like to have at least one kind of card out there corresponding to my gym leader decks. So shout out Pokedreamer, put me together a little display that's coming. So for example, I can pair these two together if I want. I just think that's really cool to have something like that out there. So why the gym series are just my favorite cards. And I think this is a beautiful holo pattern. You know, Magneton is like always like kind of like dumped on because it's like in every set. It's like no one like loves it that much, but the holo pattern is beautiful. So stoked on the 9 on surface on a vintage card. Awesome. This one's staying with me. From that same seller, we had and I will show you in a minute, a comparison, Japanese Aerodactyl from Fossil, or Mystery of the Fossils. So no swirl on here. Felt like it was a really beautiful card. Had it pre-graded 9s across the board, except I had an 8.5 on edges. So had it as a soft 9. You know, the average of what I said was below 9. So soft 9 ended up coming in at the 8.5. So 8.5 on centering. You know, I can see that it's definitely shifted to the left and up. So that's fair. Surface on a 9 again is pretty cool. Again, I was always so worried about centering for CGC. So to get, you know, now knowing how harsh they are on surface, to get these surface 9s is pretty cool. I think though what's interesting was maybe it wasn't this one. I thought there might have been a scratch or something, so I was surprised at the 9. But corners got a 9.5 and edges got the 8.5, which is exactly what I had on my spreadsheet that's over to the right there. I can't remember why that was, but let's see. Oh, I think because there was a mark up there. See that where my finger is? There's a white mark, and I think there might have been one more somewhere. But at any rate, I had a good feeling that the edges were going to be low. So all in all, a strong 8.5. You know, kind of right down the center, makes total sense to me on how they graded it. They've been fairly consistent with that. I guess it does kind of have a little bit of a, you know, kind of a half swirl behind his back there. So neat card. That one I'll probably let go because I do have a 9 here myself as well with no subgrades. It's just interesting to look at these side by side. The edges definitely got mine that I just graded. And the centering for sure is better on my 9. So it's pretty consistent to me when you compare those two. Why it makes sense that this got the 8.5. But hey, a Himeno classic. I love picking up Himeno artwork. You know, there's nothing better than her work. So, but have that one in a 9 already. So probably let this one go, or maybe do a giveaway or something for that. So. All right, so those two were the Magneton and the Aerodactyl were from that same eBay seller. Next up, we have a Vending Vulpix Series 3 that I peeled myself from a vending sheet. Really beautiful card, Nishida artwork, just one I really liked. I think these vending series cards are so cool, and getting to peel the sheet myself and send these in, thought this was pretty sweet. So had this down as a 9. You can see the centering is definitely off and up. And then you never know with these because of the surface. I think on the back there might have been a scratch because they're like that. Yeah, you can see it right here. See that surface scratch, y'all, right there? So that's on the back of the card. So you usually expect Surface to not do amazing on these if they've been not that well kept, because they're on the sheet like this and then you peel them off to reveal the other side. So if they're just like stored somewhere, this backside can scratch pretty easily. So this guy ended up getting the 9. So pretty stoked about that. Right on point, 8.5 Surface as expected with that back scratching. Really nice corners and edges, and centering is what it is. Got a 9. It's definitely high, maybe a little to the right. This one, I don't know if I'll keep it or let it go. I think it's a really cool card. It's my favorite one from that sheet. So I just really like grading the vending cards. I think they're super fun. Just that whole experience of buying the sheet, peeling the card, and grading it myself was super fun. All in all, really, really cool experience with that one. So beautiful card, Nishida artwork. Like I said, be careful when you're buying those sheets. Check out that, get back surface pictures, because that can happen a lot. You see that right there. So that one's a maybe, keeper or flyer, not sure. Then lastly, we have what I thought had a shot other than centering at getting close to that CGC 10. I should have known, hey, if the centering's not perfect, you're screwed. You can see it's a little to the right there. But pulled this card myself from, I think it was like my first pack of Dream League, which was wild. One of my favorite cards, happy to own it in Japanese. It is Pikachu, or Red's Pikachu, character rare from Dream League. This card, oh, it's freaking beauty. The way the holo is, like, this was the card I wanted to pull when I first started opening Dream League, and was so stoked to have this. It's a, many of you might recognize this from Cosmic Eclipse as well. So ended up getting the 9 on centering. Was really hoping we could get 9.5s across the board. Don't expect the 10, obviously, because it's CGC and it's super tough. You can definitely tell this left side's thicker. But a beautiful card nonetheless. This one is staying in my collection. Just an absolutely gorgeous modern card, and really just brings back so many memories, as y'all know. Do I have it? It's over there. Pokemon Yellow is my favorite Pokemon game, so this is very reminiscent of Ash joining up with Pikachu at the very beginnings of Pokemon Yellow. So that is my most recent CGC return, y'all. So very, very stoked. In recap, we have 3 I'm definitely keeping, which is this awesome Dark Machamp in a 9, the Lieutenant Surge's Magneton in a 9, and the gorgeous Dream League Pikachu in a 9.5. Just a really great modern card. So very stoked to hit the 9.5 there. Then a few others that I'll probably let go of because you can't keep everything. Dark Dug Trio coming in at 8 because of that back crease. Dark Alakazam at the 8.5, getting close to that 9. Aerodactyl from Fossil again at the 8.5, close to that 9, off on centering. And the Vending Vulpix. So really stoked. Y'all, I do, recommend grading yourself if you do get the chance. It's just super fun. It's one of the best parts of this hobby. One of my goals for this year is to focus on grading cards myself continually through my CGC membership. It's just something I really, really enjoy, and mostly for fun. I know that the value is probably there more with PSA, and the half grades on CGC make it tough for value. But from a personal perspective, a card like this that I just want to keep, I pulled it myself. I spent $20 to grade it. I'll take this for, whatever, $22.03 after shipping and everything. So, y'all, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, found it informative. Again, I guess the one thing I didn't note is all these cards were graded for $20 a piece through my middleman with the subgrades. And yeah, the cards themselves varied from, something I pulled to maybe like a $15 card like this Machamp, maybe a $12 card. let's see. No, that one was 17. So somewhere up to like 17. So all in all the cards all in were somewhere, you know, around that, you know, $20 grading plus, you know, $0 to $20 of card value when purchased. Some, you know, sometimes you overpay for cards you buy locally too, because just they're fun to, you know, grab in person. But anyway, let me know in the comments below what questions you have about grading with CGC, and I'm really stoked to be doing more returns with you coming up, just as they slowly drip in from PSA, BGS, and of course CGC. So as always, I am Connor from Rock Pokemon. Collect what you love, but do it intelligently. See y'all later.